Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley Charday, and today I just wanted to share with you 7 things that I wish somebody would have told me before I turned 30. Actually so mad. But the good news is, because I got these gems, all I want to do is share them with you. If I can help somebody, then it was all worth it. The heartache, the pain, the stress, the agony that I had to go through to learn these 7 things will all be worth it. I don't even know why I decided to do this video. I've seen different videos like this floating around, but I think I had been reflecting one day just about all the things that I've learned, just in a kind of a moment of weakness, thinking like, oh, I wish I would have known these things in my 20s when I was younger. Because I feel like, sometimes you get in your head and you think like, I would be further along. I wouldn't be dealing with this. I wouldn't be stressed about that. So I decided, I was like, I want to take these 7 things that I've learned and I want to share them with other people so they don't have to feel like I felt now. Maybe you can get a step ahead. And here's the thing, we're always going to be learning in this life. You're never fully there and arrived. And so I'm a firm believer in God's timing. I think I can just be grateful for the fact that I know them now and expectant and looking forward to all the good fruit that are going to come with me knowing what I know now. So I don't necessarily regret not knowing these things, because at the end of the day, if I needed to know them for the season I was in, then God would have made it possible for me to know them, if that makes sense. But hey, I'm not going to be gatekeeping this knowledge. And I hope this is helpful. I hope you guys really find value in this. I hope it just, even if it just helps one person. The first one is, I wanted to kind of get this one out the way because it's sort of like the foundation for all of the other points in a way. It's kind of the common thread. It'll thread through everything. And it's pretty much how I aim to live my life on a day-to-day basis. And that's keeping God first. And what does that really mean? Because we know that nowadays everybody got God first in their social media bio. I think, and what I've been learning, is that God first is sacrificial. It's choosing every single day and even moment by moment to deny ourselves and think, what would God say about this? Just taking a breath in that moment and leaning on God and saying, God, how do I handle this? What do you want me to do? Where do I go? Just constantly in a place of surrender to God in every moment. I think this concept is easier to say and harder to live because we have so many distractions in this life. There's people, there's friends, there's family, there's careers, there's goals, there's endeavors, there's dreams. And before you know it, with 24 hours in the day, you could easily go a day, a week, a month, years without setting that time aside to check in with God. Genuinely, like, God, what do you think about what I'm doing? It's so easy to be going through like something hard or struggling with something and thinking I should call my friend and vent to her about it, rather than taking a step back and saying, I should pray about this first. It's so easy to do. I've done it. So while we want to say, keep God first, I think one thing I really wish I would have known in my 20s is how that actually looks practically and why that's so important, and really realizing that all those other things can wait. And I think we can rest in knowing that the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom and all these other things will be added. There's faith in walking that scripture out, because a lot of times we strive and we take things into our own hands and do things off of our own will, and we don't realize it. It's not a bad intent, but it's just so easy to do. But I think when we actually put God in his rightful place as number one and we seek him first, we'll realize that it's actually the cheat code to getting everything else that we want according to his plan. That will be my foundational number one tip, is to keep God first in everything. And I would say 1A or number 2. I had it as number 2, but I actually think it could just be 1A, is something that I wish I would have learned in my 20s, is that we don't need to beg God. Like, I think a lot of us, I don't know, maybe not, but maybe you can relate to this, that a lot of us grew up in Christian church contexts where we see people wailing and weeping and tearing at the altar for God to do something. And I'm not saying that there's not a time and space and place for that. I think what we should know is that God hears our whispers. He hears our hearts. He hears our moans. He's able to decipher what we need before we even open our mouths. But ultimately, I believe that it's a heart posture first. You can talk to God just like I'm talking to you right now, and it can still hit the same. Sometimes begging God is wrapped in fear and desperation and not actually trust. Another thing I wish I would have learned in my 20s is that healing is a lifelong journey, child. I thought I thought that I did all my healing in my 20s. Okay. And I was intentional about it. Listen, I was going to therapy, I was reading books, I was committed to this healing journey. But boy, did I have a rude awakening in my 30s when I realized that there was so much more healing to do. And so I've come to this conclusion that healing never stops. Healing is something that you'll do for forever. I would say to take your healing seriously. Like, let that be a part of your core values, that you have something within your daily activities or weekly activities that contributes to your healing. Whether that's therapy. Right now, I'm in a group therapy class that has been so transformative. Whether that's group therapy, whether that's a small group at church, something, a mentor, something. Journaling. It doesn't mean that just because healing is a lifelong thing, you won't have wins along the way. Your capacity won't increase. You won't get stronger in certain areas or gain more wisdom in certain areas. But none of that can happen if you're not intentional about it. I would say that as God increases your capacity, as He opens different doors, as He brings new people into your life, new experiences, the healing that you do will be so pivotal to how those experiences are for you. Because if you think about it in this way, everybody wants to be married. If you don't do the healing, the things that you allow to lay dormant are going to come out in a big way once you get married. And that's not to say that there won't be other things that will be uncovered, but if there are things that you're aware of now, traumas, unmet childhood needs that you have that you are aware of, make sure you're doing that healing. Okay? And if you feel like you don't have anything, if you're one of those people like, I'm good, I ain't got no healing, go talk to somebody. Okay. Do a little bit of research. Ask ChatGPT to take you through some questions for you to see if there's any place where you need to do some healing. Because I promise you, you'll find something. And give yourself grace in that process, because healing is probably one of the hardest things that we'll do. It's definitely top 5. Because a lot of things that we have to heal from are things that were done to us by people that we love. And it can be hard to wrap our minds around some of those things. So you don't graduate from healing. It's like an ongoing growth. That makes sense. The next one is that you can be intentional about money in your 20s, right? This is something that I wish I would have known. And not to say that we're chasing money, that money is the number one goal. No, I would never say sacrifice your calling, your purpose, your alignment with God for money, sacrifice your morals, anything for money. No, we're not saying that. But if you do have your hands on some money, be intentional and strategic with that money. You can start saving money early. You can start investing money early. The earlier you started, the better off you will be. I know that a lot of times when you enter your 20s, you get your first big girl or big boy job and you want to buy some of the things you like. And I'm not saying don't do that, but definitely keep in the forefront of your mind that you will be setting yourself up to be at a huge advantage, because of a lot of your peers won't be doing this. And you'll be at a huge advantage if you are strategic with your money and you find creative ways to allow your money to work for you. This is one of the ones that I feel like can come off a bit cliche. It's also one of the ones that are easily lost, especially in today's society. And that is simply just being yourself, being your most authentic self in every environment. There's so much out there in social media that tells you how to be, how to show up, how to behave, who you got to be to get this and get that. And while some of these might be true, I think what makes you special in this world and what is going to allow you to have the most alignment with the life that God has called you to is when you show up authentically as yourself, not as someone who's perfect, not as someone who has it all together, but as the you that you are in any given season. If you're ever in a situation where you feel like you have to change yourself, even in the slightest ways, to be accepted, then that's not a place for you. And that's an easy way to weed out a city, friends, community, church, anything, you name it. If you feel like you have to alter who you are, obviously we're showing up as our best selves, right? We're respectful. We carry ourselves with dignity and honor. We treat people with respect, so on and so forth. All those things aside, if you can't be you, then that's a clear sign that that's not the right environment for you. I think the faster that we show up as ourselves at every opportunity that we have, the faster we'll be able to align ourselves with the right people, the right places, and the right opportunities. And this is a caveat, but have a good sense of your boundaries and your standards. Boundaries and standards teach people how to treat you. It's not in like a controlling way, but it's in a way that keeps everybody safe and the environment healthy, essentially. So take some time to really learn what your boundaries are, your standards are, and make sure that in every room you go into, you bring those with you. And last but certainly not least is the journey is the best part of all of this. All of these tips I gave you, some will go in one ear and out the other. You'll forget some. And in the moment, it will be hard to apply because life is so much more complex than just knowing something. And that's something that I've learned as well. You can know something, but translating it into an action or execution is the difficult part. So this is where you give yourself grace and just embrace your journey, right? Know what you know, but just leave room and flexibility for God to do his thing in your life. Live in the moment. I know we all want to arrive. We want that dream job. We want that relationship. We want all the successes. We want to heal. We want to get to the finish line so fast sometimes. But the beauty is really in the day to day, learning how to enjoy the now, this moment, as the you, the version of you that you are, with what God has equipped you with, learning to live in that moment, learning to create the memories, journaling every moment so that you have these things to look back onto, to see where you've come from, how you've grown, how you've matured, how you've changed, the things that you used to like and you don't like anymore, or vice versa. And the reality is you make it through that season, that chapter closes, and then a new one begins. And there's new lessons you'll have to learn, right? There's new people you'll meet, and there's people that you'll lose in that season. There's new opportunities. Some doors will open and some doors will close. Like, this life is ever changing and complex and beautiful. So I think if we can just learn to keep God first and be so intentional about some of these different areas, but then just, surrender to God's process, you'll be all right. You know? Yeah. Nah, but I think you'll be all good. I hope this was helpful. I really just wanted to share these thoughts because it's stuff that I wish I would have known a little bit earlier, but I know them now and I'm grateful for that now. And there will be so much more to learn, but hopefully you could take away something, even if it's only one thing, to apply to your life and make it just a more beautiful experience. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you so much. It's one of my passions and heart's desire to just share the things that God has taught me. If that's something that you're interested in, definitely hit that subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.